last week we talked a little bit about what our microbiome is and that it's more than just gut health. Gut health is the majority of it, but there's even more to it. This week we're going to talk about how our lifestyle impacts our microbiome and how small decisions we make every day can either help or hurt our microbiome. And as we learned last week, that's really about overall health. So let's start with nutrition. With nutrition, we want a varied diet, fresh fruits and vegetables, mostly whole foods, healthy proteins, and of course, we're trying to avoid that processed foods that are going to actually cause challenges for our microbiome. So one fast food meal can change the composition of our microbiome in as little as 1 hour. So let's say we go on vacation for 10 days and eat almost all processed foods or fast foods because we're like, oh, we're on vacation. King's College did a lot of research on this and found out that in 10 days, you can actually lose 40% of the diversity of the microbiome, specifically the gut bacteria. So in our gut, we have about 5,000 species. And so if we do fast food, processed food for 10 days, we started with 5,000 and all of a sudden it's gone down to 3,000. So why is that such a big deal? Each species is actually there to help the body with something different. So some are for immunity, nerve function, digestion of cellulose, the synthesizing of vitamin K, the absorption of nutrients, nerve function. There are so many things that they're doing, and some of them are meant to work together. And by what we're giving them or not giving them is making our gut health more well-rounded. And that's so super important. So I think a lot of times we think if we make one bad choice, one bad meal, then we're like, oh, forget it. This day is completely ruined. It's actually way, way better to just get right back on that bandwagon because it's about the accumulation of those consistent choices that we're making every day. So back to my favorite rule, the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, we're aiming for those whole foods, those nutritious foods. We want to really think about what we can add to our diet instead of what we're trying to take out. Eat more fruits and vegetables and proteins. And the really cool thing is that it's going to send messages to the brain that it wants more of those. The more we eat of those, the more our brain's like, yes, give me those. So I was talking to someone just the other day, and they had a goal to eat one salad for one meal a week. And he found that he started craving that salad on the other days. And he was kind of blown away because he thought even that one salad was going to be a struggle. But when we give our body what it needs, it's like, thank you so much. Can I have some more of that, please? Now, unfortunately, the reverse is also true. So I recently got back from a trip and John surprised me with brownies. I do love brownies. And it was a 4-pack of organic brownies I really love. And I had them for dessert 4 days in a row. And day 5, my body was like, where's my brownies? So what happened is it actually was feeding the gut bacteria that thrive on carbs. And so they were in there thriving and they were like, yes, give us more, give us more, give us more. But I wasn't giving nutrition to all of the gut bacteria so that they could all thrive. I mean, I really was, but it happens really quickly. The more you eat of something that you probably shouldn't have, the more you crave it. And you've probably noticed that. So on day 5, I actually said to John, I said it out loud. I was like, oh no, no more brownies. I was really mostly kidding, but my body was really like, where are they? We're ready for our brownies now. So let's just kind of remember if we make one choice then maybe we get right back on the bandwagon. I actually kind of wish they would sell that brownie in a 1-pack instead of a 4-pack, so I'm not like on day 5 thinking, okay, I'm ready for my brownies. So yet again, coming back to adding those healthy complex carbs, potatoes, sweet potatoes, beans, brown rice, oats, and of course, fruits, veggies, proteins. So creating a healthy biome in the gut can actually change and help us to reset our metabolism. You know, we're serious about that in this podcast. And so far today, I've mostly been talking about gut health and that aspect of our microbiome. Last week, we talked about the microbiome being an invisible organ all over the body, but because it sends signals to the endocrine system, it's actually almost more like an invisible part of the endocrine system. So it is helping to support and send signals to the hypothalamus, pituitary, thyroid, adrenals, pancreas. Let me know if you want me to do an episode where we really dive into the importance of the endocrine system, but for now I'm just going to keep it really simple that this is the system that regulates hormones. So super big deal. So how else can we support our larger microbiome more than gut health besides nutrition? Obviously, moderate exercise or activity is going to help support it. Stress management. Cortisol actually affects our microbiome dramatically. When we're stressed, so is our gut. And it's more than just, oh, I feel a gut feeling, or I'm sick to my gut because something stressed me out or something doesn't quite feel right. It's actually putting stress on our microbiome. So having those stress management activities in our back pocket that we can pull out, do some deep breathing, grab an essential oil that specializes in helping reducing those stressful feelings is huge. Sleep. You guys know I'm serious about sleep. The diversity of our microbiome impacts sleep, how well we sleep, the efficiency, how fast we go to sleep, how long we sleep, and our microbiome affects sleep, and sleep affects our microbiome. I feel like I've been talking about that a lot. When we do one, it affects the other, and it just keeps affecting itself. So we have better health, better health, better health. So certain bacteria helps us with short-term fatty acid production, which helps us produce serotonin. Okay, this one's kind of mind-blowing. 90% of serotonin is made up in the GI tract. Y'all, that seriously blew my mind. I knew that supporting the gut helped with mood, but I had no idea it was 90% of the serotonin production until I was researching for this episode. So serotonin is known as our happiness hormone, and lack of serotonin is what can lead to those feelings of anxiety or even depression. And so now that really makes so much sense to me, that gut-brain mood connection. It's because of the serotonin. And it does play other roles too. It influences learning, memory. It helps us to regulate body temperature. For people in our house, that corresponds to mood as well. And when serotonin is metabolized, it actually metabolizes into melatonin. And so there we are again, that helps us get a great night's sleep. So you can kind of see how they're linking to each other, and they continually impact each other. So we want to get great night's sleep so we can get melatonin, so we can get a great night's sleep so we can get melatonin, serotonin, mood, gut health. It's all connected. The last part I'm going to talk about is reducing toxicity in our home. We really want to get rid of those cleaners that contain chemicals that are going to kill the good bacteria in our microbiome. That's in our gut, on our skin, in our respiratory system. And we don't really want a sterile environment. We don't want to create a sterile world because it is going to affect the microbiome on our skin, in our respiratory system, and in our gut. And these are so important to us. So that's why I really love the On Guard or Abode Concentrated Cleaner. I know it's killing those things in the house that I don't want, but it's not hurting my microbiome. Even alcohol in mouthwashes can kill the microbiome in our mouth, which helps with our immune system. But this is crazy. So people who take mouthwashes or use mouthwashes with alcohol do not metabolize sugar or carbs as well as those who don't. So that can actually lead to weight gain and other health issues if we're not metabolizing sugar and carbs correctly. That's a really big deal. So I think an alcohol mouthwash is probably one of the first things I would get out of the house, and follow up with a close second of any cleaners that's like, it kills 99.9. Yeah. So it's killing our gut health as well. So the On Guard mouthwash is water-based, no alcohol, and it's amazing. My mouth feels so amazing when I'm done. So yet again, it's all 5 pillars of health working together. Each of the pillars can support a healthy lifestyle or bring us challenges if we're ignoring it. So let's just take a few minutes and rate ourselves in each category. 1 is the lowest, 10 is the highest. The good news is we're only aiming for a 7 to 8 in each category. It's impossible to get a 10, and it really creates stress and unreal expectations on ourselves if we're aiming for a 10. So we are not aiming for 10. Grab a piece of paper and a pen. Rate yourself 1 to 10 in nutrition, exercise or movement, sleep, stress management, toxins in the home. And I want you to pick just one category that you want to work on for the next 30 days. Find one of my podcast episodes that focuses on that category, and then set some simple goals to help move that needle in the right direction. Once that becomes a habit, focus on another section. Once that one gets to 7 or 8, focus on another section. And if you're at a 3 or 4, you can get it to a 5 and go to another category and come back to it. That's totally all right too. Anything we do to consistently nudge that needle is greatly improving our health. Next week, we're going to describe how to pick out an amazing probiotic and prebiotic. We're really going to dive into what to look for when you are purchasing a pre and probiotic. And that's going to help support our gut health and our overall microbiome. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe or follow. Share this with someone who needs it, and I'll see you next time.